Salutations, Duelist. Today I would like to present to you a Banlist prediction for the June 2020 format that we may or may not get depending on how Konami views online playing. Unfortunately, this format is really bland and it is very dominated by a couple of strategies that make it very boring to play and make it a very dice rolly and very RNG dependent meta. So I shall give my ban list predictions to fix those issues for the next ban list in consideration of product releases and also my wishes, which I shall also show after showing my actual predictions. So let's move on to the bans section. For my banned cards, I would like to ban True King of All Calamities, Mecha Phantom Beast, O-Lion, Block Dragon, and Despot 001. And I would wish that Mystic Mine would get banned. First of all, True King of All Calamities is a very strong card that, if it hits the board, can decide if the duel is over or not right when it is summoned, and right when it activates its effect on your opponent in your opponent's draw phase, or standby phase if you prefer. The thing is, this is probably the strongest lingering floodgate in the game, and I do not understand how this thing has not been hit over the course of the last 3-4 years. Especially now with the Synchron combo that allows you to go into True King of All Calamities by just normal summoning a way to get into Halka Fibrax. This card is a big issue in this format, with only a few counters that usually get covered by all sorts of negation cards like Borreload Savage Dragon or any counter trap. As next, Mecha Phantom Beast Lion. This card was not problematic until Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon got released, a Link 3 monster that unfortunately is only a recent release and therefore will not be banned in the next couple of months, unless we are lucky. So the best way to address Auroradon is banning the card that it wants to summon after it summons its tokens, which is Mecha Phantom Beast Lion. Mecha Phantom Beast Lion is usually being summoned for its level, for the fact that it is a tuner, and for the fact that if it goes to graveyard, it sends a token. This makes it a very strong tuner, and also it has a good in graveyard effect that allows you to abuse playing multiple Auroradons if you hard draw one. Next is Block Dragon. This card has already been an issue in Gem Knight FTK, but recently with the new Rock Archetype um, at Emancipator being released, Block Dragon is an absolutely insane card in this format. This allows you to not only gain a lot of resources and get free summons on your turn, but also on your opponent's turn if you so choose to summon it and link it away with the help of IP Masquerena. This allows the Emancipator deck, which is usually a combo deck, to have great recursion and also allows you to break boards. This card is overloaded for its archetype and therefore should be banned. The last one on the cards that I believe will be banned is a little bit less controversial, but Despot 001 is also another tuner that is being abused with the help of Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, because Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon summons 3 machine tokens, which allows Despot 001 to trigger. By banning this card, the Auroradon combo will be made harder because you will have to use starters apart from Jet Synchron to get into this combo. Also, the Despot 003 starts in all sorts of decks like Eldritch Synchron are made impossible. For my wish list on banned cards, I wish Mystic Mine to be banned. I do not know if Konami thinks the same way as I do or a lot of players do, but Mystic Mine is a very degenerate card. From its design, it's there to punish people to overextend boards, which is in itself a good thing. But this card can also be abused in the way that you make your opponent overextend without their will, and then lock them under this card forever, or until they have an out. This makes your opponent have required to main at least one way to get rid of it, which is bad for deck building. So this covers all of the banned cards. For the limits, I would like to limit Jet Synchron because it is the arguably best starter for getting into Cryston Halka Fibrax. This is mostly because it can be searched off of the spell card tuning, and also can be foolished by different effects to get into the combo. Also, discarding is not really that bad of a cost to use this card, like compared to Plague Spreader Zombie, which shuffles one card from your hand into the deck to do the same thing. Then, as next, I would like to limit another Dragon Ruler, which is Blaster. Blaster is the next weakest Dragon Ruler to come off the list. Arguably, it is weaker than Tempest, which we got at 1. The danger of limiting more Dragon Rulers is, of course, that they support each other and allow stronger plays. For example, Dragon decks would be able to do rank 7 plays again. But I think Blaster is a safe choice just to test the waters and see how this goes. And at last, I would actually want to limit a card that just got released, which is Crystron Halka Fibrax. Why not directly ban this card? Because even though it is so powerful, I think it is under banlist under new product release protection, as a lot of cards are usually on release, no matter how strong they are. And I think limiting Cryston Halka Fibrax puts a hold onto synchron focus decks and allows players only to play this combo once, and if it gets stopped, they do not have the option to recur into it again. Yeah. Then for my wish lists for limitations, I wish Thunder Dragon Colossus to come back to 1. I do not believe that this will happen because of a couple of reasons. First of all, being the Nemesis archetype, and Nemesis Corridor being a 1-card Thunder Dragon Colossus if your deck banishes. But and also for the fact that it is a dark monster with protection that can be easily summoned from the extra deck, which allows Union Carrier to abuse it by equipping Dragon Buster Destruction Sword to it. But all in all, I think Colossus is not that strong of a floodgate in this meta that is mostly dominated by special summoning from deck instead of searching from deck, even though there are still search cards. This should be a good boost to Thunder Dragon as a pure strategy. As next, I would like to limit Mobilize Engage. Again, I don't believe that this will happen because Engage is a really strong card, and especially with the successes of Sky Striker, proven to be still a viable strategy in this meta. Probably people will not need an Engage. But what would Engage do at 1? It would allow Sky Striker to play a little bit more proactively and possibly also get a little bit more card advantage to keep up with other meta strategies. At last, I would like to limit Koakimaru Guardian. Guardian is not really a discussed card, but I think it is a really unfair experience to see your opponent in Adamancipator excavating a Koakimaru Guardian just to be able to play through your hand traps, which should check combo decks. And since you don't have to hard draw this card, this makes it even more dangerous and even better in combo decks to play around it, or at least the rock combo deck. So this covers the limited list. For semi-limits, I would like to semi-limit Zodiac Trident. Zodiac has been shown to do at least something since Trident got limited. But I think Zodiac also deserves to get a semi-limit on Trident as long as other cards do not leave the list, as in Zodiac Barrage still staying at 1. This allows Zodiac to to have a better recovery against cards like DD Crow banishing their Zodiac Trident. Also, I wish I believe that Seer Malabranch of the Burning Abyss can come to 2 because BA is currently not one of the stronger decks, and I think the recursion that Seer offers is pretty okay. Also, it is an undesirable experience to hard draw Graph and Seer. So having 2 Seers in deck would make it a little nicer to play Burning Abyss. Also, one of my wish lists for semi-limits is Eldlixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Why do I wish to semi-limit this card? I would like to encourage the player, if I would design the ban list, to play this less as an engine and more as something that you can directly play as a full deck. And by semi-limiting this, this will require Eldritch players to play more on uh, the black elixir, Eldlixir, to actually play Eldritch. Also, Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine is a really strong card when destroyed, which makes it really hard for players to play into Eldritch back row. For Unlimits, there are a couple of cards that I would like to see unlimited. First of all, I think this is the most likely card to be unlimited, which is Necros of Unicorn. Necros in the last few months has been becoming more and more power crept to in comparison to other decks, and is virtually uncompetitive in this moment. The only way to play a Necros currently is by abusing Hauka Fibrax and Jet Synchron and the Death Bots, which are all cards that other decks abuse even more. Also, the incantations are really bricky, and having Unicorn at 3 would help Necros as a pure deck to play with more recursion. As next, I think Pantheism of the Monarchs can come to 3. I do not see Monarchs to do much or anything in this metagame. Skystriker Mecha Widow Anchor, I do not know if this will come to 3, but it is probably the most likely card of Skystriker to go off the list. And lastly, Totally Awesome. Totally Awesome has not been doing anything, and only the Paleozoic frog players have been missing this card at 3. And even at 1, it recurs itself. And also for my wish list for Unlimits, I would like to see Eclipse Wyvern at 3. Why do I want to see Eclipse Wyvern at 3? Well, there are a couple of cards like Seifert and Bro Tower that basically do the same thing as Wyvern does. And I think Wyvern is way harder to set up than Seifert is. So I believe that this card could come to 3. There are probably some shenanigans that can be pulled with this, but I would like to support like Chaos Dragon decks a little bit more, since they are a really cool mechanic. Anyways, if you have any feedback to this list, please post it in the comments. If you like my content, of course, feel free to leave a like and suggest to me what else you would like to see. All in all, I wish you a good day and may the dueling be with you.